Hi everyone, and welcome to Critically Thinking Christian, where we talk about all kinds of subjects such as Christian culture, pop culture, and more. I'm your host, Alicia. Please note that my videos are primarily intended for a Christian audience. If you're not a Christian, that's fine. I'd love for you to stay and share your thoughts. But by and large, I am assuming that most of the people watching this are in fact Christians. Moreover, I want to make it clear that while I believe my opinions to be reasonable, and I try to base them on both biblical and historical truth, they are ultimately my opinions. If you find them helpful, great. If not, just forget about them. Let's go! Today's video is about the ever-popular franchise Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. This series has been around for several decades now, yet it still continues to attract new fans, both children and adults. However, the Harry Potter series gained a lot of flack over the years from Christians, and several other people, for presumably teaching children about witchcraft. Although the fervor around this issue isn't what it was 2 decades ago, it's a topic that still occasionally comes up in Christian circles, particularly amongst parents and ministers. But is this accusation really true? Let's look into it. Before we begin, however, I need to qualify what I mean by the word witchcraft. This word, along with other terms such as Wicca, pagan, or the occult, are rather nebulous and tend to get tossed around to describe various religions and lifestyles that have a so-called spiritual or magical element to them. The diversity of these practices is far beyond the scope of this video. For my own purposes, I take the word witchcraft largely in the popular sense. People practicing spells and rituals to call upon spirits or supernatural beings in order to use their power over nature. The first thing to note about Harry Potter is that the magic system is somewhat vague and is quite literally impossible to accomplish in real life. Potion ingredients include objects such as dragon livers or unicorn horns. Not exactly stuff you can buy in your local supermarket. Moreover, the magic lessons in the books are mostly the students waving their wands at objects and saying magic words. There are some sections that mention notes on the board for students to copy, such as in Transfiguration, but these notes are never described in any detail. There are no spiritual rituals to activate magic. The characters treat their wands the way people in real life would treat a gun or any other type of tool. The last point is of particular significance. There is no spiritual or religious element to Harry Potter at all. The characters do not worship any entity that we know of, regardless of whether they are good or evil. There isn't even any nature worship, no talk of magic being out of balance or whatever you might often hear in modern fantasy stories. This is, at heart, a story about good versus evil and how the power of love and friendship can conquer the darkness. Really, thematically speaking, this story is quite similar to The Lord of the Rings, although the two differ widely in their storytelling. Honestly, I think Harry Potter conveys Christian morals better than some Christian stories do. One thing I really want to note is Rowling's use of the term witch. In this franchise, there is no difference between a witch and a wizard except for gender. This honestly annoys me a lot because it means that the words witch and witchcraft have no significance of their own in this story. She could just as easily have referred to all the magic users as male and female wizards without changing anything. Moreover, much of the negative backlash this series has gotten over the years could probably have been avoided if she had just used the term wizard instead. After all, when most people hear the word witch, they typically think automatically of evil characters such as Morgan Le Fay, the Wicked Witch of the West, the Sanderson sisters, the Candy Cottage Witch from Hansel and Gretel, etc. Sure, there are plenty of examples of good witches in modern storytelling, but it's still a word that tends to convey a negative impression when heard. By contrast, when most people hear the word wizard, it usually brings to mind the wizard Merlin from Arthurian lore, or a similar character such as Gandalf or Dumbledore, and is usually associated with good characters. Yes, again, there are exceptions, but my point still stands. Seriously, Rowling, was using the term witch in the books really worth it? So, in conclusion, there really isn't any weight behind the charge of teaching witchcraft in Harry Potter. The characters in this story are of no more religious significance than Santa Claus. And if a child does develop an unhealthy obsession with the magic in these books, chances are high that such a child already is having issues somewhere else in life that is causing said obsession. It's no use trying to blame the book. After all, there are a good many innocent pastimes that can be abused in such a manner. Well, that's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. And remember, my brothers and sisters, so whatever you eat or drink, or whatever you do, do everything for the glory of God. Thanks for watching. God bless.